What's up, YouTube? This is going to be an update on Pramiracetam. And I wasn't going to do any more videos about Pramiracetam, but I wanted to talk about a correlation that I've made. Now, this isn't any, obviously this isn't a scientific study. This is just me taking Pramiracetam. I told you guys I bought one of the smaller bags. I ran out of it about 3 weeks ago, I would say. Roughly around 3-4 weeks ago, I ran out of this stuff and I stopped using it. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because I took a math test today. And the math test, I bombed that shit up. I bombed it up. I've been studying hard. I spent, I think, 3 hours yesterday studying. And I've been spending roughly an hour to 3 hours a day studying. I've actually put in more time into this one, into the other one. Now, for a little backstory, for those of you who don't know, I took the special math, which is the 96, which isn't even a college level. It's the startup. I actually finished that. I was using Pramiracetam at the time because I've been using it pretty much all semester, until, like I said, 3 weeks ago, and passed it. No problem. I think my final grade was like over 100 with all the extra credit. Without all the extra credit, I scored I want to say it was a 93.8%. So it's still an A, still in the A category there, and they accepted me into the 115. And they let me do that, and I caught up with the class. I actually got through the first 4 chapters very quickly, and my scores were, I believe I got 105, which was over, obviously. I got 105, a 95, another 105, and 100 on those 4 tests. Now, those 4 tests are important because that was while I was still on the Pramiracetam. You guys know me from all of my other things. I don't normally correlate things like this, but I was sitting down today because I bombed up a second test. So I bombed up that test. Luckily, the curve carried me and took me to a 70%. Okay. Today I bombed up the test. I got a 46, and I'm hoping the curve bumps me up again to a 70. Hoping. Now, I do have a lot of extra credit once again in this class, but still, it's kind of a pride thing. And I thought to myself, what the hell am I doing differently? I can't remember stuff because I was doing the assessment right now. Because if any of you are familiar with the ALEX program, your instructor can do a reassessment. And he did a reassessment because next Thursday is the final. So next Thursday is the final. He's doing this reassessment on me. I'm going through the reassessment and I'm looking at this shit that was from the first 4 chapters like it's a different fucking language. I'm looking at it like, holy shit, I don't remember any of this stuff. I kind of fucking, skidded my way through it. I'm only halfway through the assessment. I stopped because it was giving me a fucking headache. And I said, what the hell am I doing different? And I realized I haven't had any Pramiracetam for like the last 3 weeks. Now, whether or not this is a direct correlation, I have no idea. Whether or not it's just because I've been, fucking going downhill in classes, I don't know. Because I have straight A's right now. And there is a strong possibility that I may get a B in fucking math and break the fucking streak in this semester, because it looks like everything else is pretty much a lock for an A. I've always naturally been better at writing, and I've been decent at easy math. I consider myself to be a fairly bright person. I think most people do, but I usually tend to catch on to things very quickly. The thing is I'm not retaining it very well in math recently. So I don't know if it's a direct correlation, but I bought some more fucking Pramiracetam today. They said it's going to ship today. Hopefully I get that shit in enough time so that I'll have time to study. Last time I ordered it, it took 4 days to get here. It's a Thursday, so I'm worried if they ship it today, if it actually goes out today, I might get lucky and have it by Monday, Tuesday. The latest I'll have it is Wednesday, so I'm hoping to pound some on Wednesday and pound some on fucking Thursday and be able to pass this test. It's not like it's not life or death, because like I calculated it, And even if, okay, if the curve doesn't take me, I would have to get a 90 or better to keep an A in that class. I could not show up to the test to get a C. So the worst I could do possibly, I really feel like if I go in there and take the test, is a B, but I want the A. That's just how I am. And plus, I have summer classes starting immediately after, and I'm taking the fucking calculus, or whatever the next math is, the real math, and I'm taking that one next, and I really don't want to go in there being the fucking dumb kid, because like right now, what was killing me in 5 was exponents, and what's killing me in 6 is logarithms. Those two things are fucking killing me. Like, I get the decays, I get all that stuff, and I'm very good at pattern recognition, which is a problem with math, because in logarithms there are patterns where if you figure out the pattern, you don't have to do math. You just know the pattern. Well, the fucking problem is that I need to know the math, because when the test comes, it's not the fucking easy what is this, what is this, what is this. It's the how is this? How does this happen? What do you do? Knowing calculations, and that's where I'm having a problem. Like I said, I was doing pretty good when I first got into exponents, but I think that was like the residual effects of the Pramiracetam. So I'm not sure if that's the case. I know there are a lot of pro Pramiracetam people out there that's going to say that is exactly what the fuck is going on. If that is true, then it's going to be kind of addictive. And here's another thing that I wanted to talk about, because I think it is kind of addictive, is that everybody who's tried Pramiracetam knows that it has a very distinctly awful taste. I had gotten used to it. Up until maybe about a week ago, I would drink because I do the water drinks. I do the water drinks. I do the water flavorings, and I like the Kool-Aid, the cherry Kool-Aid and the fruit punch, or if you're from the hood, the red or the red. And I put those in there, and quite honestly, I've been missing the taste of Pramiracetam, because it has a very distinct taste, and trust me, it's not a good taste, but I've actually been missing that taste. I'm like, oh, this doesn't taste like, it's weird. It's like I miss that awful taste. So I don't know if there's an addictive quality to it, or if maybe that's just my brain saying, hey, you fucking need this stuff. But yeah, I ordered some today. I broke into my safe. I like to budget my money, and like it was really out of my budget. And when I say out of my budget, it didn't break the bank or make me broke, obviously. I'm just saying that I didn't want to spend $60 on something right now, because going into summer, there's trips and things like that coming up, and I'd like to have the fucking money there. And like, to me, $60 on fucking powder doesn't make sense. But if the $60 on powder gives me a fucking better grade in math, then you're damn skippy, I want to fucking use it. So like I said, not sure if it is a direct correlation. I know that I've been not, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't been as motivated lately for it. So like, the motivation has definitely been a factor. So I don't know if that's part of the Pramiracetam either, but there's definitely been a motivation issue with me. But it hasn't affected any of my other grades. But I've always been a really strong writer. So, with me, math has always been easy when it's easy math. When it starts getting into algebra and stuff, the harder algebra, like I said, I don't even know what E means. Like, I don't know. I see pattern recognition, and I approach math from that. I was like, oh, well, if this always does this, this has to happen. And if this always has this, then this has to happen. It's not necessarily doing math all the time for me. It's more of, like I said, a pattern recognition deal. So right now, I'm in that whole funk where it's like, I think the Pramiracetam was helping me get over that barrier of just the pattern recognition, where the pattern recognition and the actual math were coming together, and my mind was kind of like, okay, I get the difference. Like, I understand that you need this for this, but I also understand that this needs to happen first. One of those deals. So I know that's complicated, you know, sitting there trying to decipher what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But if you're not very strong at math, maybe you'll understand. Because like for me, I get little things, like some of the things with the log, like I would just notice patterns. I'm like, okay, this always does this. Same thing with functions. Like I don't understand what the fuck functions are for. I couldn't tell you the first thing about why they're there or what they're supposed to do. But when I see them and I see a pattern to them, I pick it up and I'm like, oh, this has got to be the answer. Oh, this has got to be the math that goes to it. I pick up on those things. Now, obviously that is a component of math, but doing the actual work is different also. So that's what I'm facing right now. Is like I said, like it was funny. I had said, like right before it, I had taken the test last week, the chapter 11 test. I'd taken the test and I said, oh, there goes my average, because I actually had a 99.4% going into that test, and it fucking cock slapped me all the way down to a 93 or something like that. Today's test is gonna knock me all the way down to like a fucking 90. If he's generous and I get extra points, because I think with the 46 it knocked me down to like an 86 or 88. If he decides to be generous and give me that 70, it's actually gonna let me sit at around about 80, I don't know, 88, 89. Dude, I'm like really kind of freaking out. So hopefully, you know, like I said, I know it's ridiculous. I know some of you are sitting there like, oh dude, you got a fucking A, worst case scenario you got a B, what are you fucking worried about? Like, I'm worried about the B. I don't want the B. I want the fucking A. I want the fucking A. I could give two shits about that B. So I need to either come correct and get 100% on that final, which we know is not going to happen. You know, getting 100% on a fucking math final is tough work. I mean, that's not going to be it's not going to be easy go to fucking get that done. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping the Pramiracetam comes in and I can fucking knock it out, because like I said, if he's not lenient with today's score and I end up with that fucking 46, like it's going to be an uphill battle to get it's going to be an uphill battle to get A in that course. So just kind of like I said, just like a kind of a update on the Pramiracetam. It's just funny to me, like I didn't realize it, and then that happened. So like I said, I don't know if it's a direct effect. Take it for what it is. Just wanted to give you like an update of what happens when you're not on it. But anyway, I'm Damien J, and this is the Morning Drive.